You're actually the news of the week. You made a big announcement that you're going to be joining a certain news network to provide a lot of the things that we provide here. If you want to tell us a little bit more about what's going on.
Yeah. So I'm becoming an analyst that's for CNN as part of this new Guns in America beat that they're creating over there. And anyone who's been following me for any period of time probably knows that one of my main critiques of media coverage of firearms is that there just isn't a lot of knowledge about them in media. And a large part of that is due to the lack of focus on the issue. Like basically the only thing that gets consistent coverage that deals with guns in America are mass shootings. And there's no beat focused on firearms. There's guns in America generally beyond mass shootings. And so I'm encouraged to see that CNN is taking that seriously and is bringing on someone like me. I think one of the largest drivers of poor media coverage of guns comes not from political bias, although that certainly does exist, but from just ignorance, really, lack of knowledge. And so that's an area where I think what CNN is doing is really beneficial. And as far as my role goes, I'm not in charge of how they cover firearms. I'm not running their news coverage there. I certainly will have, I'm sure, input on some of that, but I am an outside contributor. I don't work full time there. The Reload is going to remain my main focus. There will be no drop off in content or quality here. If anything, this will give us flexibility to expand, I think, in the future as more people learn about the Reload from my appearances on CNN. But yeah, I mean, don't expect really anything to change. Certainly not for the worse at the Reload. We're going to remain committed to producing the same quality and quantity of content that we've been doing since we launched in 2021. And the big difference is that I'll be bringing the same perspective we've focused on here to CNN, a wider audience. And I think that'll be good.
That's excellent news. Like you said, that's really cool to see CNN taking this issue seriously beyond, as you said, just simply, every so often when a mass shooting happens, they decide to cover firearms. But it's cool to see that they're taking this issue seriously as a general American issue, because it is a facet of our life that guns play a role in the American way of life. If you could tell us what exactly is.
Also, I should point out that they've hired several other reporters as well. An in-house reporter is going to be the lead for this issue area, the area of coverage. And then they've also hired a reporter from The Guardian and from The Trace. So, it's not like it's not like I'm the only one that they're bringing in to talk about this issue, but I think they've done a good job of trying to find, a number of different perspectives to bring in and have conversations that are more, about informing people rather than inflaming. That's at least how it's been presented to me, and I don't see any reason to doubt that to this point. And I'm hopeful that that's how things will go, and we'll be able to have nuanced conversations. I'm not going on there to be like a talking head who's doing a bunch of screaming debates. That's, as I think people who've followed this podcast or read the Reload know that that's not my style. That's not what I do. Instead, it'll be more focused on analyzing situations, trying to be accurate and fair to everyone involved, and just explain what's going on with guns in America.
Have they given you any indication on when you might be expected to make your first appearance, or when they're going to really get this thing going? I know a lot of people have been asking the kind of appearance schedule.
Yeah, I mean, there's no specific schedule.
Right.
I'm sure there's been some confusion about this because people hear you get hired by CNN, they just assume that you're like going to have a show or or whatever. And
Right.
there's no like Stephen Gutowski hour at this
Not
point.
yet.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
But, they've hired me as a contributor, as an analyst. So it'll be on an ad hoc basis when they have a story that they want to cut. They want some insight on about, regarding firearms. That they'll reach out to me, and I can say yes or no. But I'll probably say yes as much as possible, just to be a useful resource for them. And so there's no like schedule that I can give people in terms of like turn on the TV. It'll be on a. I'm not gonna. I'll try to let people know as the appearances happen, right? And I'm sure we'll probably post them to the Reload when we have the ability to do that too. So it'll be, and I'm hopeful too that they're interested in when we have a story at the Reload that's of national interest. I'm sure there'll be opportunities where I'll go on there and that we can talk about stories that we break here at the Reload. So. So honestly, you should keep following the Reload because you might get the stories here first and then see them on CNN potentially. So, but yeah, I'm not full time at CNN. I'm not starting a show. This isn't it's not like a roundtable show with the four of us who are part of this operation. It's at least not yet, and no one has talked to me about that. So it's not something like coming down the line tomorrow or whatever. But yeah, it's more of I'm an analyst. When there's a story related to my area of expertise, they'll reach out. Any of the individual shows that exist on CNN can reach out and ask me to come on. That's basically how it works.